Hello, 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 people. How are you? Good to see you. It is hump day. It is Wednesday, April the 26th. I am here in the studio, not as fresh as Oliver. Oliver's studio is dusting the shoulders off. I love that camera. I'm
All
gonna
right,
get there. I'm gonna get
appreciate
there.
it. I
So
appreciate it.
welcome to my monthly gift to the world. I am the founder and CEO of the Shine Institute, and it's my honor and privilege to introduce you to the co-founder of Denoli, Mr. Oliver Marcelle. Oliver, how are you this evening?
I am well. I am well. Thank you so much for this. I'm taking some time to share it real quick. So let me see.
Oh,
Let me
yeah,
share.
yeah, yeah. Share, share,
Let me
share,
share,
share.
share
I'm
real
going to
quick.
share too. Let me see. You know what, Oliver? I'm going to let you share. And then after, as I continue to learn StreamYard, I'm going to put a commercial out there. Plug for StreamYard allows you to go on 8 different platforms all at the same time. I think that's pretty awesome. This is my first time doing this. I have not signed up officially, but I will after our time together so that I can have the option to record. I can have the option to do LinkedIn and YouTube, all that good stuff. But let me know when you're ready to
Do
fasten that seatbelt.
it.
Actually, I should do it this way: fasten the seatbelt and get this plane off the ground. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's hit it. Let's hit it. All right. So I'm going to pull up here my questions that I have for you. You're in the hot seat tonight.
All right. Let's do it.
And let's go. So, the first question that I have, I know who you are, but can you start by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Indeed. So here's how I always say it, right? I am an inner city kid born to Caribbean parents
Nice.
who has, through a very convoluted way, navigated life. And here's the thing. I'm using the word convoluted, right?
Uh-huh.
But if I'm really being honest, the positive and the challenging have all been orchestrated in a way to get me here, right?
Absolutely.
So anybody who knows me knows I'm a man of faith, so I'm going to say that God orchestrated this.
Absolutely. Without
Even the
that.
stuff that I felt like didn't make any sense, the stuff that
Mhm.
I was like, this is crazy. Why are you putting me through this? All of that has led me to where I am right now. So this inner city kid born to Caribbean parents now finds himself, fast forward to where I am in life now, as an author, speaker, and coach in the relationship building and men's empowerment spaces, with the goal being to do what's on my t-shirt. So
and and that goal is
shirt
to
T-shirt says 2020 before hindsight. So you can't see the word before, but in the H is the word before. So 2020 before hindsight, which is essentially, and as we
yes.
get into this, you'll understand what it means, right?
Yes.
Essentially, all
You
of
want to see it before you look at that rear view mirror. Like, what did I just hit? I just hit. The cops are pulling me over. I'm in trouble. So we want to get it taken care of before getting in trouble.
there it is. This guy right here, in all of that convoluted, or should I say orchestrated time of my life, there
Yes.
are some things that I had to learn in hindsight.
Yes.
I
Yes.
wish that I had not had to go through some of those things. So
Yes.
my goal is in everything that I do, everything that I say, everything that I share
Mhm.
is to help somebody gain some level of clarity on the front end
Yes.
so that they maybe, possibly, prayerfully avoid something that making a decision, going to a
Yes.
place, doing a thing, or not doing a thing that could potentially throw off the trajectory of their lives. So that's me.
I love it. Man, I need to get a t-shirt and have my story in a one-liner, man. That was powerful. Drop the mic on that one.
Yeah.
So, I understand you are not only paired with your lovely wife in the area of romance and family, but in your business space. Can you please share with our listening audience Denali?
Indeed, Denali is a coaching and consulting company where we assist in teaching, in guiding, in coaching individuals and couples and small corporate teams to build dream relationships, to be able to communicate on an extraordinary level, to be able to recognize, manage, and recover from conflict in record time, and to build a bond that withstands all the stages and phases of life. And so, as such, we do that through social media posts, we do that through YouTube shows. We do that through a podcast. We do that through speaking. We speak for seminars and for churches and for
Mhm.
organizations. And we do that through a book that I wrote. That's probably going to come up in this conversation at some point.
Yes.
And we also do one-on-one coaching and group coaching and consulting.
Oliver, the sexiest thing that you said that has me so turned on is recovering from conflict.
Yes.
People don't see conflict as an opportunity to grow through it. People
Yes.
just go through it, you know, but you're talking about recovering from conflict, building bonds as a result of that
Mhm.
with effective communication. That is, I mean, I'm learning just like the listeners. That's what's up. Can you dig
And
a
here's
little deeper in that second pillar of recover
indeed,
from conflict?
here's what's crazy, right? Here's what a lot of people don't realize. There are several types of intimacy, right? There's all types of intimacy. And in some places, if you look in some places, they will list conflict as a type of intimacy. And you would never think, and you nailed it, you would never think that conflict would actually be an opportunity.
Yes,
And
yes.
here's the thing. If you're working as a team, and there's some work that it takes to get there to work as a team.
Mhm,
If you're working as a team and your perspective around conflict is that it is an opportunity,
mhm,
you will manage conflict much differently. So now it's not about me against my wife.
mhm.
It's about us against whatever the situation is. And
Yes.
because it's us against whatever the situation is, we're going to come out of that situation not harboring all of the challenging and all of the negative, because that's what
Resentment.
normally happens.
Yep.
You come out of conflict, you take all of the negative, all of the challenging, and you store that away. And what we do as human beings is we put that in a file cabinet. And when something even remotely looks close to
About
it,
27. You
oh,
remember when you said, yeah.
our perspective has to change. We have to discard that. Nobody keeps trash in their house,
Not
right?
at
At
all.
some
Not at
point,
all.
at least I hope
Oh,
they do.
oh, you need to post that
So
one.
here's the thing:
Ooh,
you eat something, you discard it. It goes in. It goes in the in
toilet.
the toilet. It goes in the waste bin. It goes in the trash compactor. It goes wherever. It's the same thing you got to do with the negative and the challenging that happens in conflict. And what you take from it is the lesson learned. What you take
Mhm.
from it is the negotiation that takes place. What you
Yeah.
take from it is the action plan that's created out of the resolution. And that is what propels you into the next level.
Man, Oliver, that nobody keeps trash in the house.
At least you
Why
should.
do people keep trash in the relationships?
Right. And just as you keep trash in the house,
It
it
stinks.
starts to smell, it starts to decompose, it starts to cause more problems. I'll give you a real world example. I had some potatoes in a
Mhm,
box, and I
mhm,
had them on the kitchen floor. The kitchen floor is
mhm,
a wood, it's wooden floor
mhm,
in the kitchen. I'm like, every day I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make these potatoes. I'm gonna do something with these potatoes. I'm gonna do something with these potatoes.
mhm.
Little did I know the potatoes are starting to rot.
Deteriorate.
The ones on the bottom. The ones on
Mhm,
the top look great. The ones on the
mhm.
bottom are starting to rot. I'm smelling this thing. I'm like, man, what is this? Like, where's this coming from? Lo and behold, realize that the potatoes have been sitting on in the box on the floor. So I go to discard the box. I pick up the box, and one potato had been leaking and
Mm.
ruined that piece of the wood floor.
Wow.
So now, same way in your relationship, you let stuff fester, you let stuff stay, you let stuff, you know,
You don't take it out.
you let stuff sour in your relationship, you end up with more problems than what you
Yes.
started out with.
Yes.
Get rid of that stuff. Learn from it. Do something with it. Allow it to propel you to the next level.
Wow. Wow. I have two takeaways, man. recover from conflict, and do not keep the trash in your relationship. Take it out like you would the trash in your house. Wow. Deep, 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 deep. Woo. I may have to just give a commercial right here again. Reset the room. Shout out to
Yeah.
Tina with Tina More Global and teaching me to reset the room. Tish here with the Shine Institute. I'm here with my brother Oliver Marcelle, who is the co-founder with his lovely wife Denise Marcelle of Denoli, and their mission is to help individuals, small teams, to communicate effectively, recover from conflict, and build that bond that's unbreakable. I love it. Let's go to our next question. This is pretty good. What have you found most beneficial with the work that you two are doing together?
Honestly, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you two, but I'm gonna start out with a selfish one.
Okay, of course.
So what we've realized in the years that we've been doing this is that all of the lessons we have uh, attempted to impart to others
Mhm.
have actually caused us to be more intentional in our marriage.
Of course, I can see that. I can see that.
So we have seen a significant amount of growth
Mhm.
in the last 10 years. And I would attribute a good portion of that to what we've had to be intentional about because we wanted to practice what we preach.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
so that's one thing. That's one thing that has come out of it. The other thing that's come out of it, man, is that, and sometimes I don't realize this because you don't always see the return. It doesn't always feel very tangible.
Yes,
But
yes.
when you have individuals email you or
Mhm.
stop you
Those
in a
testimonials.
church or
Mhm.
whatever it is, right? You run into folk who are like, man, I watched this, you said this and this the other day on this, and man, that was so powerful. And so that kind of thing, because like, for example, here's a great example. Right now, as we're having this conversation,
Yes.
you don't always see
The two
the
people that are live right now.
right. So you don't always see what that return is.
Mhm.
Sometimes it takes an encounter down the road to get that, but that's taught us that, one, people are watching,
Yes.
and two, it's impactful, and so
Wow.
that's been a blessing.
Man, whoo. I am so congratulations on the significant growth. I mean, that is so, so awesome that not only are you helping individuals, but that you and your missus are able to take the trash out, continue to grow through it, and get to higher stratospheres in your marriage. And
Yeah,
secondly, are the testimony of people who just share, because you plant seeds, and then you know eventually that person says, you know what, I'm going to try this thing that Oliver said. And then a year after, then like, man, dude, you gave me a seed, and God took that thing, watered it. And now me and my estranged wife, we're now leading small groups for couples. You never know how it just continues to ripple, and people continue to benefit. Wonderful, wonderful.
it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. I had a client that both my wife and I worked with. So the reason why I said that is because sometimes I work with clients by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some clients that we tag team. A
Mm-hmm.
client that we worked with in the past, some of these clients we still kind of keep up with,
Mm-hmm.
via email, and it's just always great to get the email that is like, hey, we're still doing the stuff you told us,
Yes, that's awesome. That's
so that's pretty cool.
awesome. How about the flip side? What has been some of the challenges with founding, birthing Denali? I would love to, even if it's one challenge that you've
Yeah.
overcome or are going through, or you can foresee in the future.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say I've overcome per se, but I will tell you this. the social media, different gurus, different business coaches, different
Mm-hmm.
individuals in the space.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this phase right now where entrepreneur is the entrepreneurial life is very sexy.
It is pretty hot.
It looks great, and you get perspectives from folk who have actually put in a significant amount of work to get to where they are, but
Yeah.
don't always talk about the work that they put in to get to where they are.
Yes.
A challenge, if I'm being 100%
Yep.
transparent, is that
Yep.
the entrepreneurial life is a roller coaster,
It is indeed.
and you're working to get to the place where you enjoy the ride,
Yes.
as
Yes.
opposed to looking at the person next to you like, why the heck did you put me on this ride with you? So
Yes.
so for us, just working through that, the nuances of building a business, the,
Mm-hmm.
the nuances of making sure that the effort and energy and capacity that's put into building that business
Yes.
does not subtract, like we're not borrowing that from the
Of your,
energy, effort, and capacity that we're putting in to build our marriage.
yes.
So
Oh
that
my gosh.
that
Whoo.
that's the challenge, and I'm not saying I have it like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're managing in a way that is prayerfully going to be conducive to our success. But that is something that the work life balance, or I call it harmony, the
Yes.
harmony that you want to make sure that you are intentional about continuing to push towards that harmony, and that it's not uh, that you're not taking pieces away from that
Mm-hmm.
in the name of
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
whatever the goal is that you have.
Absolutely, because you want all aspects and all areas of your life to be thriving, right? Not surviving, not sinking, but thriving. And it's a delicate dance, it's a tango to make sure that you have your business, your personal life. And my gosh, and you have children. I mean,
Mhm.
adult children now.
Have adult children. Yep,
Yeah.
youngest is
So
20,
just
and
making
we're
sure.
grandparents, so we're in a different.
Wow, I
we're in a
can't
different
believe
stage.
you are a grandfather.
I am a
Wow,
grandfather. Yeah, yeah.
wow,
So
wow,
different
wow.
stage of life, and so all of those play a part in how we approach what we're doing, right?
Yes.
And I think we have to be very cognizant of that. There has to be some level of intentionality. There
Yes.
also has to be, because I don't want to, and what I want to be careful of
Mhm.
is that image and perception is everything in business, right?
Yes, it
But I
is.
think we uh sometimes in our pursuit
Mhm.
to put forth the
A good product?
perfect image, or to
Mhm.
put forth that perception,
Yes.
we fail to tell the truth. And I'm not saying you got to spill your guts to everybody,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
but the
But at
the
the same
the
time,
rough side, the rough side.
at the same time, you have to understand that it's a process.
It is. It is.
And part of you growing a business does include learning about marketing. It does include
Yes.
figuring out how to scale. It does include
Yeah.
all of these things, but it
Mhm.
also includes you looking within yourself to
Mhm.
develop the qualities and capacity that you need to understand the
Mhm.
process and
Yes.
embrace it.
Yes. And consistency is king. As you mentioned the process, I couldn't help but to think about Lisa Nichols, who's a very popular speaker and coach in California. And she said something, and I was like, for real? She said that her business was in infancy stage for 12 years.
I believe that.
And
I
I
believe
was
that.
like, 12 years. She was like, some people think, okay, you started. I just celebrated 2 years with the Shine Institute last month. And I'm like, okay,
Congratulations.
I'm ready. And after thank you, after she said 12 years, I'm like, I'm still an infant.
Yeah,
There's so much,
there is.
to
I
get it
I
all
can I can
right.
see that. Like that doesn't surprise me at all. And that's the part of the journey that people don't often say,
Yeah.
right? So you see her
Because she's
and
a
you're like,
millionaire. She's a multimillionaire now. She is
right.
doing so much.
And what you do in that 12-year period
Mm-hmm.
is directly aligned to what people see now.
Exactly. She's built her systems,
Right.
you know,
So going
the
back to the
intake
process,
process.
and
Yeah.
you gotta be able to embrace the process. You
Yeah.
also gotta have you gotta have some thick skin too. Like,
Oh, yeah. All the no's. Yep.
yeah, 'cause I mean, if she were to, I'm sure if she were to talk about, I don't know her story, but I am almost willing to bet money that if
Oh
you
my
talk about it,
gosh.
she can tell you some of the times where man, is this right? Like, did I make the
Yeah.
right choice? Like,
Her
what
story's
is that?
powerful.
So
Indeed.
that, and that's part of it. And that's part of it. And so understanding that is paramount, and not letting, going back to the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
not letting any of that deteriorate the connection that we are establishing
Yes.
personally.
Yes.
So
Definitely. Where did you come from? Because you didn't have Denali for the whole of your lifetime. What, where did you get your knowledge, your skills, your abilities, and the confidence in order to found and build this amazing organization?
that's a phenomenal question.
Thanks.
Um, the quick and dirty answer is God.
Without a
Because here,
doubt.
because here's the thing, and I tell people this all the time. If you were to tell me 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
this is what would be happening right now,
Mm-hmm.
I I would be able to convince you that you were wrong,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't see that, right. I again, going back to what I said, there's this hodgepodge of experiences that make up
Mm-hmm.
the trajectory, the course of my life, right.
Mm-hmm.
Which at some point landed me in IT.
Okay.
And so uh, I'm coming out of the IT space, doing various things over the last several years
That's
in
good
that
to
space.
know. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so before I jumped out into this full time, I jumped out of the corporate space very recently.
Mm-hmm.
So although we've been in business for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I was double dipping. I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
build something on the side of, a
Yeah.
career that I was also trying to build as well.
Mm-hmm.
I left that in August of 2021. So
Nice.
very recent, left that in August of
Mhm.
2021. So coming from the IT space, coming from some other experiences, I was a musician, or I'll say I am a musician. I
Yes.
don't play for churches anymore, but
Mhm.
a significant part of my life was spent doing that. And so,
Mhm.
there were some of the components that made up my life, but I
Mhm.
wasn't thinking about this.
Entrepreneur, marriage, guru.
Wasn't thinking about this at all. But fast forward, once everything kind of played out, and there's a story behind it, how it got started. But once we realized that God was pushing us to do something, then we started getting the coaching certifications.
Yes,
So we just
yes,
started stacking the coaching certifications, learning some more, uh,
yes,
getting some tools and some methodologies and some frameworks that we could plug our own experience into.
yes.
And so that was key.
Wow. Corporate America, IT, musician. Wow.
Yeah.
Walked away 2 years ago, going on 2 years.
Hmm.
That's phenomenal. Congratulations. I know it.
Thank you.
It feels good. I know it does. Yeah.
The flexibility is nice.
Oh,
The
oh,
flexibility is nice. I will say that. We're working on we're working on cadence and
yes.
consistency,
Yes.
but the flexibility is nice.
For sure.
Mhm.
Being such an amazing communicator, I understand based on the shirt that
Mhm.
you are an author as we introduced you of a book.
Yeah.
Please tell our listeners the name of your book, a little synopsis, you know how people read in the back,
Mhm.
and where they can purchase it.
Sure. So the name of the book is
Bam!
Overcoming the Man Laws for the Man Who Wants to Be His Best Despite What He Was Taught. Overcoming the Man Laws for the Man Who Wants to Be His Best Despite What He Was Taught. And it is essentially my journey of self discovery in 8 areas that I've grappled with as a man.
Mhm. Wow.
There's some lessons that I've learned throughout my time as a husband and father. And the title denotes, if anybody's heard the term man laws, you know that they're or certain things that, are unspoken that kind of govern how
Got
a man
it.
should move
Got
and
it.
carry himself, right?
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
the, the thing is that some of those man laws, the reason why the title is Overcoming the Man Laws, is that
Mhm.
some of those things I found to be detrimental to my success as a husband and father.
Mhm.
So now I had to start looking around at, like, okay, what kind of man do I want to be?
Mhm.
Uh, do some components of that, whatever I think manhood is, do they go against these laws? And what's the journey of self-discovery in that process? So I'm talking in the book about leadership, mental stamina, relationships,
Mhm.
faith, trust, respect, altruism, and authenticity. And you just kind of get to see the path that I've taken up until this point in
Yes.
those areas.
Wow. You said, I mean, something. Why is it that this was not a scripted question, but why is it that men are so they have the man cave, mom's the word. Why are you all so, I guess, I don't know, not as willingly women? We can, I mean, I guess that's how God designed us. Women, we just chat it up. You guys are just, not as forthcoming.
Mhm. You said, now you answered the question halfway.
I think
It,
I did.
part of it is how we're designed.
Yeah.
We are designed differently. We communicate differently. We like to be communicated to differently. And understanding that is sometimes a significant step in the right direction.
Mhm.
The other side of that coin, though, is that we've also been handed down some ideologies that may work for us in certain scenarios,
Mhm.
but don't work for us across the board.
Got it.
And
Can you give me an
we,
example?
um, so it's a frivolous, if you will, example, but just to
Okay.
give you an idea, right? So if we talk about how we raise our kids,
Mhm.
right, and you raise your daughters a certain way, you raise your sons a certain way, there may be a place and space and time where you're like, look out for yourself at all costs. Uh, don't let anybody see you uh, look like you're cowering, or
Yeah.
your confidence level is low. Like, make
Yeah.
sure that you, right. So we teach that, and that is, I think, is a phenomenal piece of advice.
Yes, yes.
However, I can't do that in my marriage and be successful.
Not, you can't. I see that. I
And,
see.
and
Okay.
we're not taught how to distinguish
A safe
between,
space or someone trying to take advantage.
we're not taught how to navigate between the spaces in a
Mhm.
way that allows us to use tools when they're necessary
Mhm.
and to use other things when they're necessary. And here's the thing, this society that we live in right now has made it even worse, because now you can't navigate that way because it makes you look like you're a
Like a
beta.
simp. These, they have terminologies, Oliver. Oh man.
Right. And so that makes it even tougher. That
Yeah.
makes it even tougher.
Good point.
You
Good
know,
point.
and
I
at
am
some
taking
point,
notes.
man, just in terms of the way the book is, at some point, man, the question I had to ask myself, and the question I ask guys quite often, is, what kind of man do you want to be?
Drop
Forget
the mic.
forget all this other stuff. And I'm not saying that none of it is worthy and that none of it makes sense and that
Mhm.
none of it isn't pertinent. But at the end of the day, put all of that stuff on the shelf for a second.
Mhm.
Answer the question, what kind of man do you want to be? The answer to that question is going to be what you use to map out the game plan and the blueprint of how you move in life.
Yeah.
And at some point, you just can't really, you can't subscribe to a lot of
Don't
that
be
stuff.
superficial, man. Do you want to leave a legacy for your children's children?
Yeah,
Gotta humble yourself and be that
that's
servant leader.
that's the question I had to ask. Like, what kind of guy do I want to be? Let
Yeah.
me just go after that, right? And I'll be honest with you. There are some things that I put out there in terms of advice for husband and fathers, and I
Mhm.
get that kind of reaction in the comments. Oh, that's soft. That's this. That's that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I'm like,
Wow.
okay, here, check this out. You do what works for you.
Tell me how that worked out.
Exactly. And I'm gonna do what works for me.
Hmm.
Let's just agree to disagree.
Disagree.
I'm gonna do what
Hmm.
works for me. I know what kind of household I want to live in. I know what kind of environment I want to come home to. I know what
Yes.
kind of relationship I want to build. I know what kind of man I want to be.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
gonna do me. You do
And you
you.
do you.
If
Exactly.
it works for you, man, blessings on you. Appreciate that.
Yes, yes. Perfect segue to our next question. So, who was that male role model for you that helped you along your journey? And why did you select that person to be your role model?
So I'm gonna be fully transparent. I don't know that I ever selected anybody.
Okay.
Now it's
Okay.
interesting that you would use that word because I often teach now that
Uh,
you should shadow your future. There are a
ooh,
few
I'm writing that
right?
down.
So
That
there are a
was
few
my
things that you should be doing, right? You should be working on your mindset
hmm
and um and not just your behavior.
hmm
You should be shadowing your future, which is exactly what you think it is. It is exactly what you think it is. Like you should
Yes.
be seeking out individuals who are walking the path or further down the highway that
Yeah.
you want to travel and
Yes.
getting guidance from them, right? And then
Yes.
you should be willing to make adjustments along the way. So that or praise God, that organically happened for me. I don't think I chose it. So my father is, I say this all the time. My father is, I'm at this point in my life, I have still not gotten to the place where I can say that I can even get in his shoes and be what
Wow.
he was for our family, right?
That is deep.
The the outside of that, I met a guy in college who's no longer alive, Dr. Anthony Kelly. I call his name almost every time I do any kind of interview. Dr.
Wow.
Anthony Kelly was the person who showed me how I could holistically be a man. And what I mean by that is I always felt like I had to cut off something in me to be something else.
Wow.
And what I watched him do was I watched him move in such a harmonious way as a man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
He dressed well.
Mm-hmm.
He was entertaining. He was a family guy. He was a
Nice.
phenomenal husband. He was a great father. He
Mm-hmm.
was a pastor.
Wow. Okay.
He was a executive. He was
All
able
these hats.
he was able to navigate all of that and
Wow.
still be who he was at the core.
I love it.
And so what I learned through that is the third thing that I always teach is that adjustments are not a threat to your authenticity. I watched him make all the adjustments that were necessary to be the kind of person that he was to in my eyes and still be at the core Anthony Kelly.
Yes.
And it's possible. And so he was instrumental in many ways
Wow.
in the way I navigate some things to this day.
Where'd you meet him in Michigan?
I met him. Yep, I met him at Andrews University.
Wow. Wow.
He
That's
was
awesome.
actually, as it turns out, he ended up being the person who counseled my wife and I before we got married. He was the person who married us as well.
My gosh, that is so special, Oliver.
Yeah,
Some people go a whole lifetime and that they're not able to have that confidant, that person that they can call on.
and
So
again, I'm being truthful. Like I didn't choose that. It
it
just kind
shows
of
you.
it
It
just
just
kind of
happened.
organically happened based on I had the privilege of spending some time with him. So
Hmm.
from my musician days, and he was a
Hmm.
pastor,
Hmm.
so he had some evangelistic series that he would hold in outside of Chicago. Had the privilege of playing for him on several occasions, and
Hmm.
his wife Marva is
Nice.
like a second mom. You know, she was always like a
Wow.
mom to me before he and I even got to the place where we were. She was always that person. Just I met her first. So
Wow, wow. That's even deeper.
yeah, it just happened, and it wasn't until as I was kind of going through the various stages and phases of life that I realized,
Yes.
wait a minute, this had an effect on me. So I even talk about it in the book. So
Oh, wonderful.
in the chapter on respect,
Hmm.
I do some name dropping in the chapter
Nice.
on respect of some guys who I didn't realize it at the time, but have had significant impact. There's
Hmm.
several of them. William Taliaferro is one of them. Uh, there's just several. There's a few that I name in the book. Freddie Russell is one of them. And
Yes.
these weren't guys who were mentors per se to me. Like these, there was nothing transactional that I could say this is who they were to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I realize as I move now, I remember things and interactions
Yes.
and things that kind of shaped my ideology.
Yes.
And so I pull from that. What I tell guys now is to be intentional about making that happen.
Yes. I love that. Shadow your future. The
Yeah.
person that you want to become, you see it. Oh, let me link up. Yes, that was a very golden nugget right there. And so I want to thank you for sharing your lovely wife, Denise, as we look forward to having our Wonder Woman panel next month on May the
Very good.
21st. Can you please give a brief commercial of what you believe our listeners can expect from your awesome other half, Miss Denise?
What can you expect? Listen, she is a true helpmeet.
I love it.
She is a supporter of this ride that I kind of put her on the ride, right?
Wow.
She could be angry about it, or she could be like,
Mhm.
"Hey, let's throw our hands up in the air and have fun," right? And
Mhm.
so she has chosen to be the latter, and I think what you'll get from her is really just a very authentic and very uh, candid look at her role in all of this,
Yes.
whether it be marriage, whether it be business, whether it be parenting. She's a phenomenal
Mhm.
mother. Um,
Yes.
so you're going to get to see that side of her.
I love her spirit and her temperament.
Yeah.
Is she phlegmatic by any chance?
She is. I don't know if it's 100% leaning in that direction, but there's some of that ingredient in there.
Yeah, she's
Um,
very calm. I've never seen your wife upset. She is always, I'm sure she gets upset, but whenever I see her, she's always calm. She's always sweet. I just love her.
she is a good soul. She's also Jamaican, so we'll leave it
She's a
there.
yachty.
We'll
Wow.
you know
So I know she has some spice to her.
yeah. So I'm not going to be the one who puts out any implications at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stay safe in that regard.
Mhm.
But she can go into protection mode if need be.
I love it.
There are some
As
things that are
any
very
mama bear
important to her.
should.
Yeah, so
I
yeah.
look forward to our conversation on the 21st and getting to know her more and how she is the cream in your coffee if you were a coffee drinker and how she makes it richer and so much more tastier to Denali, to the three pillars of helping others to communicate, of helping them to make sure that they recover from conflict and to build that unbreakable, unshakable bond. That's powerful. I'm going to reset the room. Would you mind holding up your book, introducing
Sure.
the title again, and giving us a brief synopsis? This
Indeed.
is.
So this
Mhm.
is the book. It's Overcoming the Man Laws for the Man Who Wants to Be His Best Despite What He Was Taught. And it is my journey of self discovery in some areas that I have grappled with in my journey through manhood. And it is, I believe, a window into some of the decisions and ideologies that we can make and adopt to allow us to become the men that we should be, to win in every area of our lives, to to be successful in our relationships, to
Yeah.
be confident in the moves that we make.
I love it. I love it. And so, with that book, with your expertise, we are looking at June the 25th at 3 p.m. Again, that was our Wonder Women panel on May the 21st, but we're gonna have Superman dun, 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 on Sunday, June the 25th, also at 3 p.m., where you will be a co-chair host. What will be some of the topics that you can anticipate will be a part of that conversation right after the heels of Father's Day?
Listen, I think it's great that we're doing this after Father's Day because I think it's important really to create some safe spaces for men. I
Yes.
think it's important to help men understand that what they think, what they feel, the things that they encounter are valid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should have some candid conversations about some of those things. How are
Yes.
we moving as men? What are the things that are important to us? What are the things that we grapple with? How can the women in our lives be instrumental
Yes.
in in helping us carve out the path that's going to be conducive to our success?
Man, man. We can go all night, Oliver. You have a treasure chest filled with gems, diamonds, rubies. I mean, you are better than a sapphire. You are just dropping it. And it's been such a wonderful time.
Thank
I
you.
do
It's
want to
our
give
pleasure.
you an opportunity to have a commercial and to share Denali in a summation before we close out this evening.
Sure, absolutely. Listen, if you're a social media person, you can follow my personal account, Oliver Marcelle. You can also follow Denali. It's D as in David, E-N as in Nancy, O-L-I. If you look up Denali or Denali LLC, you'll find us anywhere on social media. It's easy to remember. It's my wife's name is Denise, so it's the first three letters of her name, and my name is Oliver. It's the first three letters of my name,
I love
Denali,
it.
and that is what we do. Listen, I do want to put it out there for those who are watching this or may see the replay of this. We are about to embark on another cohort of the Make Love Better 6-week coaching group coaching experience, where we will go through those three things: communicating on an extraordinary level, recovering, recognizing, managing, and recovering from conflict in record time, and building a holistic, intimate bond. It is a great 6-week experience. So follow us so that you can get some information on that. That will be coming soon. We'll be announcing the date for the next cohort. And listen, we are passionate about seeing relationships thrive. Everything that we do, any level of transparency that we display, any message that we bring across, anything that we share is all in hopes that you will garner the tools that you need to build the relationship of your dreams.
Yes. Question for you. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for sharing. My question is, do you have to be married to be a part of the coaching?
So for this particular cohort, we are taking either couples that are married or
Hmm.
couples that are engaged
Got it.
for this particular cohort.
Got it.
We're looking at potentially doing a cohort that will be for singles and dating.
Nice.
So just kind of keep up with us. We're kind of figuring out the logistics of that, and part of the program that we have designed for the couples, we may have to make some adjustments for singles, but that's coming. Now we coach one on one.
Yes, that's
Now in our
important.
one on one space, we will definitely work with singles and dating in the one
Beautiful,
space.
beautiful. And is this on electronic virtual platform or is it in person?
It is virtual right now. It's
Okay.
virtual, so that way we can have folk from all over.
Nebraska.
Right. We can have people, yeah, we can have people from all over participate. In one of the cohorts, we had somebody from Canada. We had,
Wow.
so we're keeping it virtual for now, just to be able to expand the reach and give other folks an opportunity. We are looking at some point during this year.
Mhm,
Again, follow us to kind of stay abreast of what's happening.
mhm.
We're looking at doing a in-person retreat.
Yes, that would
So an
be
in-person
beautiful.
retreat is going to happen at some point this year. We're just working out the logistics and the dates for that. and
Yes.
then we'll put that out there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It has been a pleasure. I am excited, ignited, and delighted to have introduced you. Man, I took 2 pages of notes, bruh. Two
Wow.
pages of notes. For real, not for
I'm,
fake. So
I'm appreciative.
I
Thank you.
I can't thank you enough, man. I can sit at your feet. I look forward to, being able to make the threshold and the eligibility to be a part of your 6 week course.
Amen.
Blessings to you, my brother, and to your first lady, Sister Denise.
Thank you.
um your future is so bright. I just cannot wait to see the next book. I cannot wait for the in-person retreat. I cannot wait to see how you just minister to those that are dating and single, because that's where it starts. Before you even get engaged and
Right.
committed, how could you shadow your future? I think that's an opportunity
It
to
is.
create the future that you want beforehand.
It
And
is.
so I thank you so much for your time. Facebook, I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed this platform. I look forward to signing up so that I'm in more spaces. Oliver and I will be sharing so that we can have a tremendous reach. And please mark the dates. May the 21st at 3 p.m. You will have his better half, Miss Denise, in the house. We will also have on June 25th the Superman, on May 21st, the Wonder Women, just so that we can continue to pour out and give back to our community and to create opportunities where we can connect with our ideal customers in terms of those that are married, those that are engaged, those that are single, one-on-ones. For me, again, I do individual one-on-one coaching as well. How can I help you to create the life that you dream of? And so until next time, you know it. Keep shining. Toodles.
Awesome.